Santa Teresa. What is it? Where is it? Why do people get stuck there? And importantly, is it worth it? So first things first, it's a small surf town on the southwestern point of the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. I already made a video of how to get there, so just watch that. I'll put it up here. And it's a place where people do get stuck. Stuck's probably the wrong word. It's a place where people spend an extended period of time. And that happened to me. I was supposed to go there for 2 weeks, and then a month and a half later, I was still there. So hopefully this will be useful for anybody looking to travel to Santa Teresa or even Costa Rica. But before we get into the pros and cons, I made a little montage. So hopefully, as the video shows, Santa Teresa is a great place, otherwise people wouldn't get stuck there. These sorts of places exist all around the world, and in fact, Puerto Escondido is very similar in nature to Santa Teresa. It has everything you need. There's people working there, there's a couple of co-working spaces. The one at Salina South is particularly nice, although Salina try and charge you to use the co-working space even if you're staying at Salina, which seemed a little strange to me. I wouldn't actually recommend working in the cafes because they're all along the same road and there's often a lot of traffic along those roads, and so it's almost impossible to take calls when you've got trucks and quad bikes going past making loads of noise. There is only one road, and 3 years ago it was purely a dirt road, but they've now tarmacked it. So the dust levels are lower than they used to be, but it's still sort of an issue in the fact that Santa Teresa has a lot of dust just in the air. But that's something you get used to. The food's really good as well. We ate most of the time at Eat Streets, which is just opposite Salina North. It's really quick. The fish noodle bowl is a particular favorite, and the tacos were pretty fantastic. The surf is also really consistent. That's one of the reasons why I got stuck and other surfers get stuck. It's because you have all of your other plans and there's always a swell coming either in a few days or next week, which keeps you sort of sucked into staying in Santa Teresa, which, yeah, that's a good thing, but it also means that it's hard to escape. Oh, and if you need a gym, go to the Lifeguard Gym. It's again near Salina North. The lifeguards there don't actually get any funding from the government, so all of the proceeds from the gym go to funding the lifeguards that are on the beach doing their thing. So I was in Santa Teresa 3 years ago, and obviously I just spent the better part of 6 weeks there. So I think with 2 months under my belt, I have a good idea of whether it's worth it. And the cons aren't just me. It is a topic of conversation that came up a lot with people that I spoke to when I was there, either people that are there for 2 weeks or some of them had already been there for months. And whilst they were stuck, they were, I guess it's like Stockholm syndrome, they were sort of considering whether they should escape or not, but they were perfectly happy to be there. So the first con is the price, and I don't want to always bang on about price, but it is a limiting factor for people, so it does need to be discussed. We spent, on average, I think $70 to $100 per night on pretty average accommodation, if I'm honest. And then eating out's $10 per meal. So it is pricey, especially compared to the rest of Central America. But actually Costa Rica is a bit of an anomaly itself. So if you're going to Costa Rica, you're gonna have to be prepared to spend the money. So accommodation aside and food, if you want to get around, this is what I found crazy. Most people drive around on quad bikes, which are $70 to $80 a day. I couldn't really understand. I mean, we still hired a quad bike, but it seemed a bit steep to me. But hey, I guess it's good business because everybody's driving around on quads. Connected to price, the infrastructure hasn't necessarily grown as Santa Teresa's become more popular. There's still blackouts, the internet can be a bit patchy. And so when you're paying fairly premium prices, it does make you question whether there's better options in terms of affordability. It does feel like everyone and their dog is either in Santa Teresa or heading to Santa Teresa. It's obvious that it's become a very popular place for people working remotely, and there was a crazy amount of people there. So the crowds on land aren't necessarily the bad thing, but surfing, I was surfing at 5:30 in the morning to get 45 minutes by myself, because come 6:30, 7 a.m, everybody's in the water. And at sunset, most of the time, unless it was really good, I didn't surf because it was almost dangerous, the amount of people there. And then the third one, which is a bit of a weird one, is the fact that I was really surprised at the amount of, I guess, famous people or celebrities that I saw. So Jack Dorsey was there, Diplo the DJ was there, and David Haye, the former heavyweight world champion boxer, was there. So I don't actually have a problem with them being there. I mean, David Haye was perfectly nice, but I think it's what it represents. I presume that those people could go wherever they want, but for people of those profiles to turn up in what has essentially been a sleepy surf town for the last few years is worrying. I guess it makes me question whether Santa Teresa is getting too popular for its own good. Depends what you want. Some people might like that. Personally, I look for sleepy surf towns to be sleepy surf towns. So I guess the question is not whether you should visit Santa Teresa. If you're in Costa Rica, I would definitely say go to Santa Teresa. It's whether it's worth getting stuck there. And personally, I'm a little bit bitter because I did get stuck there. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time tremendously. My time in Costa Rica was fairly limited, and getting stuck in Santa Teresa prevented me from seeing Corcovado National Park, which is one of the most biodiverse places on earth, and 3 separate people told me that it was the best thing they'd done in Costa Rica, and I didn't end up doing it. So I'm annoyed at myself for that. If I could give one piece of advice, I would say if you are going to Santa Teresa, know that it's easy to get stuck in. Book the hotel at your next destination, pay for it, so you have to leave. Otherwise, you'll end up, like me, waiting for another swell, procrastinating, saying, oh yeah, we'll organise it the next day, and then before you know it, 6 weeks will go past and you'll still be there. It's a bit of a strange one, because I would always say go to Santa Teresa. It's a lovely place. As I said, there's a reason why people get stuck there. So hopefully that's useful. If you're going there, enjoy.